Hi, my name is Jeremy Langlitz. I am responsible for marketing here at Chorbie. I'm joined with David Brooks, our lawn care manager. And we know that this week has been tough for a lot of people. It may not be an issue that you need to address right now, but we do know that our lawns have been affected in some ways with this winter event. And so we figured right now might be a good time just to maybe give you an idea of what you can expect your lawn to how your lawn is going to react to the events of this week. So I'm going to let David just share a little bit about his thoughts about the subject.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. I just want to echo what Jeremy said as well. Our thoughts are with everybody out there who's been affected by this recent winter storm. Um, and we wanted to just take a brief moment to kind of share some things that you can expect or as far as your lawn's health is going, especially into the spring this year. So the big thing, the most important thing to keep in mind is the majority of our lawns here in Texas, thankfully, are Bermuda grass. And I don't believe that you'll see too drastic of an impact from the week worth of snow and ice sitting on that grass as we get into spring. There may be some minor issues with some what we would call spring dead spot or other little small issues like that. But as you move into your spring months and start your fertilization programs, those yards should just come back, and any of those smaller damaged areas should heal up, and you shouldn't have any problems with them. The one area that I would be concerned about, pardon me, the one type of grass that I would be a little concerned about would be the St. Augustine grass. St. Augustine grass traditionally is a tropical grass. It prefers heat. It prefers humidity. It likes to be in a tropical type environment. Even as far south as Houston, we had these really nasty freezing winter storms, an area that's got a lot of St. Augustine grass. The one thing that I've seen in my experience is that it does not do well with severe cold. So my biggest concern would be having all that snow, all that ice on that grass for a prolonged period of time. You may see some shock to that grass. This can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. One of the ways is that it may struggle coming out of dormancy, may come out a little bit slower. And that's the main way that you're going to see it. There may be some dieback, so it may not come back as thick as it normally would. But in addition to that is once all of this snow and ice and all of this melts, there's going to be a lot of moisture in the St. Augustine grass. So one thing to just kind of keep an eye out for is, in addition to that, with all that moisture, if the temperatures do climb rapidly and the grass stays in a soggy kind of state, that could open it up potentially for some disease, especially some early spring disease. So just keep in mind and keep an eye out for any changes that you might see in your lawn. Here at Chorbie, we are committed to taking care of you guys. Even if you can just snap a photo and send it in to us. I'd much rather take a look at those photos, offer any kind of expertise or recommendations based on what I'm seeing. And if I can't really tell, I may even schedule time to come out and look at the yard in person just to make sure that everything's okay. It's definitely been a crazy week, unprecedented. I think it's been 100 years since we've had this much snow and ice and cold temperatures. So we are expecting there to be some kind of repercussions from that as far as your turf goes. The good news is most of your grass being in a dormant state, it's not going to really be impacted by this too much. As say if we had the same exact storm a month from now or a month and a half from now when it's trying to green up and trying to wake up, it would definitely be more of a shock. So there are some good news about it, about the storm in particular. But we just want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on everything and letting y'all know that we're committed to taking care of your lawn as well. I know it's probably not the first thing on your minds right now, but definitely committed to making sure that we address any of these concerns if they pop up in your yard. please feel free to reach out to us. Let us know. After everything else is taken care of, the more immediate types of things, please let us know if you have concerns or issues with your lawn. We're here to help. And if you have any kind of specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section on this video. We're more than happy to take those comments and those questions and try to answer them for you. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about what they can expect impact wise. Jeremy, did you have anything else to add?
Sure. So as a homeowner, there are a couple questions I would have, right, that I could think of. You mentioned that it's possible that, correct me if I'm wrong, right? It's possible that some of the lawn could be in shock, but some of it also could have died in this. Is that true or not? And is there a way to know the difference?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, and this is really the unfortunate part, it's going to be hard for us to tell with 100% certainty until spring rolls around, until we get those consistent 70 to 80 degree temperatures and the grass starts greening up and coming out of its dormant state right now. So everything right now is going to appear dead just because it's brown, it's lost coloration. The main concern, and I want to really be clear on this, I don't foresee having any issues with the Bermuda lawns, which is the majority of the lawns in our area here in the DFW area. It's the St. Augustine grass that does not respond well to cold temperatures, or prolonged cold temperatures is the grass that I'm most concerned about. But we won't know or won't be able to tell the difference between areas that have died or are just maybe impacted slowly until maybe a month and a half from now, when it's supposed to be greening up. About mid-April, mid to late April is when everything starts to green up, everything starts to really start growing. That's when our growing season really begins. The one thing I would caution people is don't run out, because if the grass isn't green on April 1st, don't run out and buy fertilizer and just start putting a bunch of fertilizer on there. That could actually make the problem worse. Especially if you have a program with us. Our program is tailor-made to give your lawn the nutrients that it needs on a kind of a timed program to make sure that we don't overdo it. Sometimes if with this excessive moisture that we've had, if there is some kind of fungal or bacterial disease starting to kind of grow in the grass or in the thatch layer of the grass, adding additional nitrogen to that will make it worse. So if you have a program with us, please let us know. If you have a question about what's the best time to fertilize or the best blends for your type of grass, drop it in the comments. We're more than happy to answer those kind of questions for you. So I hope I answered it. I kind of got long-winded there, but the key thing to keep in mind is it will take until the spring green up to really see the effects of what happened right now.
Okay. And is there anything that we can do right now for our yards? I know in the next couple of days it's supposed to be, close to, like they say, in some ways in the 60s, right? Is what I've heard on some report. Is it okay just leave the snow on the ground, let it melt? Should we try to get some of the snow off the lawn? What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely. I think leave the snow there. Don't worry about it too much. I think the key things that we can do as homeowners is, as far as our work on the yard is, most people probably have already turned off their sprinkler systems. If you haven't yet, go ahead and turn it off. You want to make sure that you're not adding additional water to this. As the snow all begins to melt, keep an eye out for areas that may have a lot of puddling going on. Maybe it's poor drainage. Those are areas that a homeowner could have addressed right now. Try to get the drainage right before spring comes around. No, I don't think anybody needs to go out and, go out and clear snow off of their yard. It should be okay. In most cases, just let it soak in. You just want to make sure that that the ground is completely dried out before you start doing any kind of watering. And to be honest with you, I know in my area we got 6 inches of snow. That's more than enough moisture to kind of get the roots of the grass swollen with moisture and carry it until spring. You probably will not need to water your yard again until springtime when everything's green again. play that by ear. If you don't want your yard to dry out and have giant cracks going through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But for the most part, typically here in North Texas, we usually get enough moisture through natural precipitation during the wintertime that running your sprinkler system is not necessary. And I think especially after this, all this snow and everything, when it starts to melt, you'll probably notice the ground is going to be a little soggy. So that would be my main recommendations. Don't jump the gun on buying fertilizer, trying to strengthen the yard up, and don't try to overwater the yard right now. Instead, focus on if you do have areas after all this melts that have standing water, try to correct those areas. This is the best time to do that, even in a normal season. Is during the off season is to fix drainage and things like that.
Awesome. And we those who may not know, Chorbie does also do help. We do have a sprinkler check and repair service. Not try to sell you on anything right now or anything, because I know now's not the time, but we're just letting you guys who's watching this know that we do offer that service, in addition to lawn care services.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't have any other questions at the moment. I think you really covered it all and gave some great recommendations, even about, the sprinkler system. So I really appreciate your time, Mr. David. I know you're real busy answering emails and stuff. If anybody watching this does have a question they would like to ask that Mr. David hasn't really touched on, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. And what we'll do is we'll find a way to get David to either jump on and reply, or we'll send the question to him for him to answer and kind of give back. So again, I want everybody to be safe, be warm. I'm glad that we've gone through the worst, and now it's just kind of picking up the pieces. And I hope that everyone has the opportunity or has the ability to do that. So thank you again for your time, and blessings.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And like I said, we're here to serve y'all. Even if it's just information, we're more than happy to provide as much information as we specialize in. And take care of yourself and your families.